Good day, everyone. My name is Yasir Gulfraz, and I'm your tutor for your today's session, which is Advanced Business Research. We'll be discussing the process of developing and presenting a research proposal. This is an essential step in conducting advanced business research. So by the end of this lecture, you will have a good understanding of how to create a research proposal in simple terms. Can you see my screen? Or can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay. If any issue, just please let me know, okay? Firstly, let's understand what a research proposal is. A research proposal is a document that outlines the objectives, methodology, and plan for conducting a research study. It serves as a blueprint or roadmap for your research project. So create a research question, literature review, and methodology. Research title. The first and foremost step is to decide on the research title for your proposal dissertation. So here we'll be discussing the importance of choosing an appropriate research title for your proposal or dissertation. The research title is obviously a critical as it provides a clear idea of what your research is about. It serves as a guidepost for readers, giving them a glimpse into the content and purpose of your study. To illustrate this, I will provide you with a few examples of good research title and explain why they are effective choices. So here an assessment of the relevance of employer branding in attracting and retaining employees. Assessment of the impact of service quality or customer satisfaction, to study the impact of working capital management on the profitability of small and medium enterprises in UK during the COVID pandemic. What are these good titles? Here, choosing research objectives. The process of selecting research objectives, our first objective is conducting a literature review here. So objective 1 is literature review. Objective 2 again is literature review. 3 is quantitative, qualitative analysis and research finding. So first objective is conducting a literature review. A literature review basically involves examining existing works and publications relevant to our research topic. By reviewing the literature, we aim to gain a comprehensive understanding of previous studies, theories, and findings related to our research area. Then objective 2 about literature review, which is also a literature review. This steps involves, involves deeper into the existing literature, but with a specific focus on a different aspect of our research topic. We want to ensure that we explore various perspectives, theories, and methodologies that are relevant to our research objectives. Then our third objective, which involves, which is quantitative and qualitative analysis. Once we have completed our literature reviews, we'll be collecting data and apply appropriate analytical techniques to examine the research problem more closely. So quantitative analysis involves working with numerical data to identify patterns and statistical relationships. But qualitative analysis involves exploring non-numerical data such as interviews or observations, so to uncover themes, perspectives, and meanings. And then last one is objective 4 is a research finding. Here, research finding will be focused on our research finding is to after completing our analysis will be summarize and interpret the result we obtained from our data. So this objectives involves organizing and presenting our findings in a clear and concise manner using appropriate visual aids and examples. By effectively communicating our research finding, we can contribute to the existing body of knowledge and potentially influence future research or decision-making process. Any questions? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so next one is example of research objectives. So here we're discussing a research topic that focuses on the influence of brand equity on consumer purchasing decisions, specifically looking at Samsung in the UK. Our research objectives are as here, here as follows. So to critically assess the role of branding in marketing of products. So objective one is to evaluate the importance of branding in product marketing. So in this objective, we will examine how branding plays a critical role in promoting and selling products. So next one is to analyze the factor that impact consumers' intention to buy mobile phones. So here we'll be investigate the various factors that influence consumers when they are considering purchasing a mobile phone. Then third one is to investigate the impact of brand quality equity on a consumer's intention to buy Samsung products. In this objective, we will research into the relationship between brand equity and consumers' intention to buy Samsung products. And finally, to make recommendations to Samsung about promoting the brand for increasing product purchasing. So to provide recommendation to Samsung on promoting their brand to increase product purchases, we will offer two suggestions to Samsung on how they can enhance their brand promotion strategies to boost product sale. Formulating research questions. So any idea about formulating research questions? Okay, our focus will be on Samsung in the UK market. So to guide our exploration, we have formulating a set of research questions to better understand the role of branding in marketing products and services. Sorry. The factors that influence consumer purchase intention of mobile phones, the impact of brand equity on consumer purchase intention of Samsung, and the recommendations that can be provided to Samsung's management for promoting the brand and increasing product purchases. Understanding the impact of brand equity on consumer purchase decisions is key for companies like Samsung. So by examining the role of brand in marketing, identifying influential factors in consumer purchase intentions, analyzing the impact of brand equity, the implementing strategic recommendations, Samsung can effectively promote its brand and drive product purchases in the comprehensive UK market. Literature review referred some journal articles, research literature, experts on current research and theory. literature review is an essential part of our work, as it provides a comprehensive overview of existing research and theories in a particular field. So literature review requires a careful selection of sources that have been reviewed or considered reliable within the academic community. So referred journal articles and conferences, conference papers, as well as edited collection are key sources of understanding current research and theories. Additionally, other papers, trade presses, publications, and advanced textbooks can provide valuable insight and perspectives. But also remember to critically evaluate each source to ensure its relevant and credibility. Literature review. It's about be very sure of the veracity and currency of the literature you use. Think, what is the telling me? Who wrote it? How old is it? How does it address my research objectives? So first one is think before using any literature. It is key to ensure its accuracy and up to dateness, and then consider the credibility and expertise of the author. Who wrote the source here? Who wrote the source you are using? So look for authors who are experts in their fields, have relevant qualifications, and are affiliated with reputable institutions. Then how old is it? Is age of the source. Evaluate the publication date of the literature. How old is it? Depending on your research topic, it is important to strike a balance between using recent sources and including foundational works. Then how does it address my research objectives? It means that examine how the literature addresses your research objectives. Then prepare conceptual works, brand awareness, brand loyalty, brand associations, perceived quality, and purchase intentions. A conceptual work is a tool that helps us understand complex idea by breaking them down into a simpler component. So it consists of a purpose, concepts, variable, relationships, assumptions, and scope. So by using a conceptual framework, we can organize our thoughts, collecting data, and gain deeper insight into the subject we are studying. Here, methodology. You must read this book, is just referring a book. So a research onion we discussed yesterday as well. There are layers about when you talk about methodology. So we discussed about positivism, critical research, deductions, abductions, inductions, postmodernism. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. You need to be clear on research paradigm, interpretivist or positivist or realist, research approach, methodological choice, research strategy, time horizon, techniques, and procedures. So then next one is purpose, techniques for use with quantitative and qualitative data collection and analysis. So here he's discussing techniques for collecting and analyzing data using both quantitative and qualitative methods. So whether you are conducting research or work on your project, these techniques will help you gather valuable information and make informed decisions. So by using a combination of quantitative and qualitative data collection and analysis techniques, research can obtain a comprehensive understanding of their research topic. Surveys, observations, interviews, focus groups, and document analysis are effective method for collecting data. Primary data is information collecting through original or first-hand research. Primary data refers to information that is gathered directly from original or first-hand research. It is collected specifically for your own research paper purposes, directly from the participants themselves. So the objective or goal of your study document, whether you need to collect primary or secondary data, but primary data is usually collected when you want to obtain new and unique information that is relevant to your specific research topic. So to summarize, primary data is information that is gathered firsthand for your research purposes. It is collected directly from the participants and can provide unique insight into your specific research topic. By using primary data, you can focus your analysis on the most relevant information, making it easier to draw accurate conclusion. Secondary data. This data refers to information that is collected from existing source without direct interaction with the participants or the environment being studied. So this type of data is already available and can be found in various sources such as market research reports, annual reports, trade reports, books and journals. So basically, secondary data is information that is collected from existing sources without direct interaction, and also it can be qualitative or quantitative and is commonly found in reports, books and journals.
I have question there.
Yes.
So you firstly tell me about the primary data, and then now you are telling me about the secondary data collection.
Yes. Yeah.
My question is that, so which is most important, secondary data or the primary data collection?
Yeah,
and which is the easier way?
Yeah, both are important data, but because it's when you write dissertation or research work, you need to mention both of them, primary and obviously as yesterday, you remember that you asked a question about previous sources,
Yeah, exactly.
So but when you write your dissertation, the top priority is obviously primary data, your own research. Okay,
right.
These the secondary data is basically for references or for comparison with your data. You understand that?
Okay, fine.
Okay. Or critical analysis. Okay, so primary data is most important part of your research topic because the research is your own work. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so always consider primary data first, because research is your own work, your own documents and your own work. So
okay,
yeah, so secondary data is always for references or comparison or this kind of stuff. So types of data collection: market research data, facts and figures collected and analyzed, secondary data, primary data. So here he's telling us that where you can here. So see that secondary data is always you get information from government statistics, industry associations, different trade publications, companies' website or market research reports. So this data, Hina, is always available. Let's say if you are working for a whichever company you work for, so this information is available there always. Okay. But this is your own work, primary data, in-depth interviews, your surveys, focus groups, social media monitoring.
Okay, thank you. It's pretty
Yeah,
much clear now.
no. And then next is data analysis. So a common mistake made by student researcher is to see data analysis as part of the doing of research. I'll worry about it when I have some data. I won't know how to analyze it until I see my data. By waiting until you have your data before thinking about how to analyze it, you may find yourself in a difficult situation. You might realize that you don't have the right tools or knowledge to analyze the data effectively. This delay can, waste valuable time and potentially undermine the quality of your research. So to avoid the pitfalls, it is important to plan your data analysis right from the start. Before you even collect your data, think about the type of analysis you will need to perform. Consider what statistical method or software might be appropriate for your research questions. So this way you can design your data collection process with the analysis in mind. So ensuring you gather the necessary information to answer your research questions. So basically, data analysis is not something you can put off until later. It is an essential part of the research process that requires proper planning and consideration. Here. So here he is discussing how the techniques you choose for data analysis depending on your research questions and research approach. And additionally, he's talking about the quality of your analysis. The analysis is influenced by your choice and design of research methods. It is very important to remember two fundamental principles. Uh, uh, you can only analyze the data you collect, and your analysis is limited by the form in which the data is collected. So the last point, techniques you employ for data analysis heavily rely on your research questions. You understand, Hina?
Yes.
Yeah, he's talking about, he's talking about heavily rely on your research question and research approach. Okay, so that's mean primary data.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Okay,
So
fine. Yes.
yeah, when embarking on a research project, you must have a clear understanding of the specific question you want to answer. So so the methods and quality of data analysis are linked to your choice and design of research methods. Let's imagine you are conducting you are a project manager and you are conducting a survey to gather information from participants. So the analysis you can perform is limited to the data you collect. Data analysis techniques are chosen based on your research questions and approach. So the quality of your analysis is influenced by the design of your research methods. Also remember that you can only analyze the data you collect, and the form in which the data is collected determines the scope of your analysis. Here, quantitative data. analysis. This process involves examining numerical data, as it says quantitative data, quantitative. So that's mean numerical data to draw meaningful conclusions. First, it's central to understand type of data will you have. So it is central to understand the type of data you will be working with. Quantitative data is information that you can expressed in numerical form. Then another here cross tabulations to be useful to answer your research questions. This is also known as contingency tables, can be valuable for answering research questions or achieving research aims. They involves here. So they involves analyze the relationship between two or more categorical variables. So descriptive statistics might you use. So descriptive statistics are used to summarize and describe the main feature of your data. Common descriptive statistics include measures such as the mean. If you ever studied statistics, so means, median, middle value, mode, most frequent value. So do you want to test statistical significance? Do you want to carry out hypothesis testing? Do you want to measure relationship between variables, correlations and regression? So here statistical significance, determining statistical significance involves assessing whether the observed differences or relationship in your data are likely to be genuine and not due to a random chance. So hypothesis testing is an essential aspect of quantitative data analysis. It involves formulating research hypotheses and using statistical tests to examine the evidence against these hypotheses. So then a relationship between variable correlations and regressions. So quantitative data analysis also allows us to explore relation between variables. Correlations and regressions are two statistical techniques used for this purpose. So correlation assesses the strength and direction of the relationship between two numerical variables. And regression helps us understand how one variable affect another. So conducting quantitative data analysis involves considering the type of data, employing cross tabulations when applicable, using descriptive statistics to summarize the data, testing for statistical significance, conducting hypothesis testing, and exploring relationships between variables through correlations and regressions. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, here's some example of raw data and surveys.
Okay.
Yeah, example analysis using SPP, statistical quality of information sharing, level of information sharing, performance of supply chain. So example analyzing using SPSS, again, it's about data here. Now, next one is qualitative data analysis. Have you got any idea about qualitative data analysis? Any idea, Hina, about qualitative data analysis or anything comes in your mind?
Qualitative data analysis. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's involved some like you can say that some this no, I guess something, it's something
Yeah.
to analysis and the theory related data, you can
Yeah.
say.
So first one was, numerical data, numbers,
Numerical
questions,
data. Okay,
interviews,
right.
and ways. So qualitative data basically involves understanding the, here is, as it says, meanings, understanding the meanings, context, process, and reasoning behind how people see the world and the actions they take. Okay. So here there are basically four main things in qualitative data. First one is meaning, how people see the world; context, the world in which people act; process, what actions and activities people do; and reasoning, why people act and behave the way they do. So how people see the world, uh, it is important to focus on how individuals perceive and interpret the world around them. So this involves understanding their experiences, their beliefs, values, and emotions. So we can gain insight by examining their perspectives. We can gain insight into their unique understanding of reality. So when we talk about context, so uh, it includes factors such as culture, social norms, physical setting, and historical backgrounds. So analyzing qualitative data, which its context helps us understand how these external factors influence people's behavior, decisions, and beliefs. So when we talk about process, uh, qualitative data analysis also involves examining the actions and activities of individuals. This can include observing their behaviors, studying their interactions, of examining their narratives. So by analyzing the process, we can gain insight into how people engage in specific actions and the patterns that emerge from their behaviors. So last one is reasoning, why people act and behave the way they do. So why people act and behave the way they do, understanding the reasoning behind people's action and behaviors is important in qualitative data analysis. This involves exploring the underlying motivations, uh, beliefs, and intentions that drive individuals' decisions making process. So you understand about qualitative data?
Yeah, it's clear now. It's a numerical data. Yeah.
So qualitative data, identifying themes, coding qualitative data, treat data as answer to open-ended questions. When identifying themes, begin with big picture and list themes that emerge. So when analyzing qualitative data, we start by looking at the big picture. We examine the data carefully and identify recurring patterns, topics, or ideas are known as themes. So these themes emerge from the data itself and help us understand the underlying messages and meanings. Coding qualitative data, reduce data to a meaningable form, and often done by writing notes on cards and sorting into themes. Uh, Once we have identified the themes, we move on to coding qualitative data. Coding is the process of assigning labels or codes of segments of data that are relevant to specific themes. We break down the data into smaller parts such as codes or paragraphs and assign codes to represent those parts. Treat data as answers to open-ended questions, ask data-specific questions, assign codes for answers, and record theoretical notes. Qualitative data can be extensive and analyzing every detail can be overwhelming. So therefore, we need to reduce the data to a meaningful form. One common technique is to write notes on cards or, sticky notes and sort them into different themes. So this physical sorting helps us visually organize and group similar ideas together. So also is open data, open-ended questions. When we talk about open data ending questions, we need to treat it as if it were answers to open-ended questions. We ask ourselves specific questions about the data, such as uh, uh, what is the main message conveyed, what are the common experiences or perspectives shared. So this approach helps us explore deeper into the meaning behind the data.
Okay, so we can say that here we have the non-measurable data in qualitative when we are doing the
Yeah,
qualitative.
qualitative is a non-measure data, and you always talk about these are a quality, quality of work. So that's a numbers. You talk about numbers. Okay. So this is a non-measure data. Basically, you work of coding quality data, treating open-ending questions, reduce meaningful forms, these kind of stuffs. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you're
It's clear
absolutely
now.
right. It's a non-measures.
Yeah.
Here, data interpretations. So data interpretations, they answer these four questions. What is important in the data? Why is it important? What can be learned from it? And so what? Uh, Obviously, question one, what is important in the data? So when we examine a data set, it is fundamental to identify what is important within it. This involves understanding the variables, patterns, and trends present in the data. So why is important? Data holds importance because it enables us to make informed decisions. It provides evidence and supports the development of theories, strategies, and policies. So what can be learned from it? Uh, Data offers a wealth of knowledge. Through interpretation, we can extract valuable information about various phenomena such as uh, consumer behavior, market trends, uh, scientific discoveries, and social patterns. And finally, so what? So the final question asks us to consider the implication of your data interpretation. So once we have look at insight from the data, we need to understand the practical significance of our findings. How can these insights be applied in real life scenarios? So this step bridges the gap between data analysis and decision making, ensuring the knowledge gained from data interpretation is effectively utilized. So interpretation depends on the perspective of the researcher. Data interpretation, consideration for data interpretations. Data interpretation also plays an important role in research and analysis, helping us draw meaningful insights from collecting data. So first is a focus on analysis that answer your immediate research hypothesis. So when interpreting data, it is important to stay focused on the specific research question or hypothesis you're aim to address. This helps you avoid getting lost in the sea of data and ensuring your analysis aligns with your research objectives. So next one is can also be worth digging deeper. While addressing your immediate research hypothesis is important, it can also be valuable to dig deeper into your data. This means exploring additional patterns or trends that may emerge during the analysis process. Be prepared to defend your statistical choices because it's not uncommon for supervisors to get the statistical wrong. Interpreting data often involves applying statistical methods to draw meaningful conclusions. It is fundamental to prepare to defend the statistical choices you make. Sometimes supervisors or your colleagues may have misconceptions about statistics. So it is essential to explain and justify your approach. So how far to take your analysis? Uh, Determining the extent of your analysis is is always important, consideration. While it's tempting to analyze data extensively, it's key to strike a balance. Consider the scope of your research, available resources, and the depth of insight needed to answer your research questions. Comparison, existing literature here, which I was talking about previously, comparison with existing literature. Okay, your research and existing research or literature. So as researcher, we always build upon the knowledge that has been accumulated by others before us. So it is fundamental to compare and contrast our findings with the existing body of literatures. So in our literature review section, we explored various studies and articles that have been conducting on closely related topics. This allowed us to understand the current state of knowledge and identify any gaps or areas that required further investigations. So by doing so, we ensured that our research was grounded in prior knowledge and contributed to the existing understanding of the subject. When comparing our research with existing studies, we found several similarities and differences. These similarities validate our finding and provide additional support to the existing body of knowledge. But also it is important to note that our research also revealed some significant differences from the previous studies. So these differences may arise due to various factors such as differences in research methodology, sample size, or the specific context of our study. It is important to acknowledge these differences are critically evaluate the potential reasons behind them. This allows us to contribute to the ongoing scientific uh, uh, discourse and expand our understanding of the topic. Check if the research gap is addressed by relating to research objectives. Research gap refers to an area in the field that has not been extensively studied or lacks sufficient evidence or understanding. By identifying and addressing these gaps, researchers contribute to the advancement of knowledge. Relating to research objectives, here relating to subject objectives to assess how well the existing literature relates to the research objectives, we need to examine whether the studies align with the goals and aims of the research. This alignment ensures that the literature is relevant and can provide valuable insight to support the research arguments. conclusions as to which pieces of the best considered in the arguments are most convincing of their opinions and make a greater contribution to the understanding and development of the area research. So based on our analysis, we can draw a conclusion regarding which pieces of literature are best considered in the arguments, which are most convincing in their opinions, and which make the greatest contribution to the understanding and development of the research area. So present the proposal using suitable methods here. So there are chapter one by one chapter structure here, structure of the proposal. So chapter one is about introduction. Okay. So this section sets the stages of for the research project and provides essential background information. It includes components like background studies, research rationale and research gap, aims and objectives, research questions, and research hypothesis. This research hypothesis, if quantitative. So in quantitative studies, researchers formulate hypotheses, which are educated guesses about the relationship between variables. So these hypotheses are tested using statistical analysis. So next chapter is in your research proposal, literature review, academic theories, critical review, conceptual frameworks. So in the second chapter, this section examines existing academic theories and research related to the topic. It involves the following steps: academic theories, critical review, and conceptual works. So next one is chapter 3 is methodology. Research onion and explain its components, the proper justifications. Research methodology, we will be utilizing the research onion frameworks, which is a comprehensive model that helps in structuring the research process. It consists of various layers, each represent different aspects of the research. So research philosophy, this layer will be discussing underlying principles and beliefs that guide our research. So then research approach, here identify techniques and justify your data collection, research identifying sampling techniques and sample sizes. So explain how you will use data for analysis and ethical considerations. Let's go here. What I was looking for, conceptual work. So a conceptual work, I was just quickly talk about conceptual work. Conceptual framework is a visual representation on or model that illustrate the relationships between different variables or concepts in the study. It provides a structure for organizing the research and helps in formulating research questions and hypotheses. So then structure of proposal, question 3, discuss the methodology that will be used for research. Will be utilizing the research onions. We already discussed this one. So finally, chapter 4 is a project plan, your plan for the dissertation. So when your plan for the dissertation, it's you discuss about research philosophy, research approach, then you talk about research strategies, then you talk about time horizon. Time horizon mean we will consider the time frame for our research, whether it is cross-sectional data collected at a specific point in time, or data collected over an extended period. So then data collection, then data analysis, ethical considerations here, ethical considerations, ethical consideration. Here we address the ethical consideration for our research. We will ensure that our participant confidentiality and privacy are maintained. Informed consent is obtained, and any potential risk are minimized. So the last one is project plan, your plan for the dissertations. So this plan will serve as a roadmap for the entire research process. Here we will present the plan in the form of a lecture using simple and easy to understand language. So the project plan will include the well, it's not here, but project plans always include research objectives first, then research questions, then literature review, then methodology, timelines, resources, limitations. So by presenting the project plan in a clear and concise manner, we aim to provide a comprehensive overview of the entire research process. So this will enable us to stay focused and effectively carry out our research objectives. That's all for today. Any questions so far, Hina, or anyone, if anyone is there?
I guess that's fine for my end.
Okay, thank you very much for listening me. So see you next Saturday for assignment discussion. If you have any questions, drop me an email at yasser@ukversity.co.uk. Okay. So have a good evening, and bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.